Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Chase here at Rocky Mountain. Thank you so much for checking in. So today we have the new Leatt 4.5 HydraDri boots. If you are a rider that has been shopping for a waterproof motocross off-road boot, here you go. Now look, I got to give credit where credit is due. Alpine Stars, they were the first to market that I saw with a waterproof motocross boot with the Tech 7 Enduro Dry Star, but I'm glad to see that Leatt has also now given an offering with their 4.5. And I'm glad that they did the 4.5 and not the 5.5, which is their premium boot, just because if you were to ask me personally, I actually prefer the 4.5 over the 5.5. And I'll explain why here in just a little bit. But if you watch my other review that I've done on the Leatt 4.5 boot, I'm actually a big fan of it. It's for the price, especially with this one having the waterproof liner, it's pretty hard to beat. And they have the HydraDri Evo liner inside here. And what I like that they've done different that Alpine Stars didn't do is they have this neoprene cuff up here on the top, which is tapered. So it's just gonna offer the best seal possible around the rider's calf. So again, to help keep as much water and debris out as possible. Now with the liner inside here, that HydraDri Evo, so I'm not going to get really technical here, but if you look at the product page, they throw out a couple numbers at you when it comes to waterproofing and breathability, and they say 20,000, which is actually really, really good. If you look at, so 20,000 is just the rating of how waterproof and how breathable something is or a waterproof liner is. You can see from 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, so just know that the higher the number, the more waterproof and the more breathable that it's going to be. So it's nice to see that they're using a good high quality waterproof membrane inside of here. Now, before we dive into some of the other features, let's talk about fit real quick. So one other thing that I do like about the 4.5 is the fit. So it's got a nice wide toe box, so it's going to accommodate wide feet well. The length for me is going to be true to size. Also, when I put on these boots, same thing goes for the 5.5. I think they did a great job as far as making you feel like your ankle is just really locked into place. So a term that I use a lot in other videos, I call it heel float. And what I mean by that is when I have a boot on, if I'm riding or if I'm just walking around, if I feel like my heel is lifting up off the sole and it's just kind of just floating around too much, I don't like that. So with the 4.5, it feels like it really holds the ankle and everything in place really, really well. Now, I said earlier that I actually prefer the 4.5 over the 5.5, and here are the reasons why. The 4.5 is going to be a more simplified version. So you do have a lateral and a medial pivot system on this, which is going to offer good flexibility. And that's one aspect about the 4.5 I like, is right out of the box, it's going to have a lot more flex than the 5.5. The 5.5 is very supportive, tons of protection, but it is stiff and it takes some time for that boot to break in. If you want a boot to have more flexibility right away and it's not going to take as long, then the 4.5 is going to be the better option for you. And the 4.5 is actually quite a bit lighter, but that does come at a cost, because when you look at the back here, you've got this accordion flex panel right here with the 5.5. Just looking at them side by side, you can see you've got all plastic here on the back of the 5.5. They have a hyperextension stop, plus just more plastic around the ankle in general. So it's easy to argue that it is more supportive, and it is going to be more protective in certain areas if you did have an impact. So just a couple things to keep in mind, but we do have our fit guarantee. I forgot to mention that. If you buy these, and this goes for any boot that we sell, if you don't like how they fit, what you can do is send them back a brand new unused condition. We'll give you free shipping both ways on your first exchange to make sure that you do get the size and the fit that is going to be best for you. All right. Going back into it. So as far as the construction goes, so you've got a lot of hard TPU, a lot of hard plastic on here. You can see you've got it here over top the toe box. Nice big shin plate in the front, great impact protection there. I already talked about the back a little bit. Again, a lot of hard plastic right here in the back of the calf. You can see that sticks out a pretty good distance, so good impact protection there. A reinforced heel cup to offer great impact protection there as well. The buckles are going to be either plastic buckles, but do not fret. You do have a metal base and they are replaceable, but it's a really simple buckle design. You're just going to take your strap, drop it in there, and then it snaps down. So it is a buckle design that I think works pretty dang good. And then here on this lower buckle, you actually have this piece of plastic that comes up, and that again is just to help prevent anything from possibly grabbing that buckle and popping that open while you're riding. But let me open these real quick. So on the inside, we talked about this neoprene cuff up here at the top, but another cool feature that Leatt does that I haven't seen any other boot company do is, make sure I get this right, the SlideLock cuff. And what's cool about this is it's like a one direction Velcro or hook and loop. And the way it works is pretty simple. So when you go to put these on, what's cool is that you can just take this and connect it, but watch what I can do here. I can actually slide this, but then when I try and go back the other direction, it's completely locked into place. It's not moving. Here's why I like that, is when I go to put my boots on, I do up all my buckles. Oh. But typically what happens is you'll set this cuff up here in place and then you snap down your upper buckle, and what happens is a lot of times this will bind up. But because this can slide and it's one directional, that doesn't happen. So you're not going back through and having to readjust this Velcro panel right here. So I like that feature. It works well. It's pretty unique. Let me open it back up real quick. So on the inside, so moisture wicking antimicrobial liner on the inside. You've got lots of padding around the ankle area. Again, like I said, it holds everything in place really well. You can see the waterproof liner is going to come up pretty much to where this gator is. So about 3/4 of the way up the boot. Now on the inside, or the medial side I should say, so hard plastic all right here, but when you get up to the top here, your burn guard, there's actually a very grippy feeling rubber. And when I rode in the 4.5, in the 5.5, that is one thing that I noticed is that this gripper, or this rubber, excuse me, does do a good job of really gripping the motorcycle. So big fan of that, because typically with most mid-level boots in this price range, you usually don't see them using a really grippy rubber on the inside. You tend to just get a hard plastic material instead, which isn't gonna grip the bike as well. So with the sole, replaceable sole, enduro style sole. So this sole was actually developed with Johnny Walker, who's one of the best just off-road enduro tech motorcycle riders you're gonna see. So designed it that way to give as much grip as possible when you're planting your feet, whether it's a rock, a log, things like that, or just off the bike walking around. So you've got that sole. Again, this insert right here is replaceable. You also do have a steel shank, which comes about halfway up the sole. Purpose for that is just to give more support for the rider's feet while you're out there pushing and working hard. And also what's nice too is something that I think the Leatt boots, both this and the 5.5 do well, is they have a good peg feel. So, you know, you hear me talk about that also a lot, is I like a boot where when I'm standing on the foot pegs, I can really feel where my feet are at. When I'm pressing down the brake pedal, I can feel how hard or how much pressure I'm putting on that brake pedal. Some boots are better than others in that category. The 4.5s and the 5.5s, they're not the best, but they're pretty dang good. So all in all, with the 4.5, don't take my word for it. You can go to the product page, you can read rider reviews, but like I said, I enjoy this boot. I think they did a really good job, especially in this price range. And again, now you've got the HydraDri Evo waterproof liner with the gator, the SlideLock cuff. You know, really, there's just not a lot that I could say about this boot that I don't like. So if you have questions or comments though, I would love to get those answers. So make sure, leave those down below. To grab your set today, click on the link or just head over to RockyMountainATVMC.com. Just one colorway available as of right now when these first came out. I would hope or expect to maybe see a few more colorways in the future, but again, questions, comments, leave those down below. If you like this video and you want to stay up to date on product spotlights like this, get subscribed to the Rocky Mountain YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and you'll be good to go. I'm Chase, and we'll see you on the trails.